With those in WWE accused of hiding injuries and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Touching on his health issues and recently being hospitalized, Dutch Mantel shared this on Facebook. In a nutshell, I had an infection and it turned into sepsis by the time I got to the hospital. I have been pretty out of it, but my daughter Amanda has been here the whole time and kept the doctors and nurses straight. To be fair though, I think even if I had died, she would have just had me stuffed and said, no, you can't leave yet. Sepsis can make you very confused and say some pretty out there things, which is why she requested no one call or text me. We needed time for those antibiotics to do their thing. 5 days of IV antibiotics and 10 days of oral. The doctors are watching everything very close to make sure it's cleared and not coming back. I am being very well taken care of. I have been transferred to a rehab facility for now. I will be here a while longer as I get my strength back and will have to do physical therapy. If all continues to improve, I should be able to go home next week. It's not time to tap out just yet, so you guys are going to have to listen to my BS a while longer. Thanks again, guys. Recreating Sami Zayn's betrayal of the Bloodline in WWE 2K23, Peacock made this video.
I'm with you. It's a game. It's a game. This is my life. This is my whole life. You are with us whether you want to.
Zayn made his choice, and he's gonna pay.
When it comes to how WWE views Omos, who has been absent from programming, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful reported Omos has not been used on WWE TV since SummerSlam, when he returned after almost never being used on television since WrestleMania. Sources in WWE told us they feel like Omos can be used in the attraction role, but there haven't been many creative pitches thrown his way. However, he wrestles semi-regularly on live events, usually against the likes of Akira Tozawa. As Rey Mysterio is currently out of action due to a torn meniscus, he opened up on his injury, telling Keeping It 100 just wear and tear. This time it was my right knee. I've never had any injuries on my right knee since '97 when I had my first surgery in WCW. The left knee kept on breaking down every other year, sometimes a little bit longer. Numerous ACL tears. The last big surgery I had on my left knee was in 2011. This time you put in all the years. I've been favoring the right knee for the left one, and finally, I tore the meniscus on my right knee. It's 6 to 8 weeks. I'm in week 4. I'm getting a personal trainer at the beginning of the year that's going to work with me just so I can work on my lower body and strengthen up my hips, my quads, my legs in general so I can resist. I've never had a personal trainer that can train me, kind of like UFC fighters train, so I can use most of my power from the hips down. I know that I'm slowing down the older I get, but I can make things look faster just by being in the business so long. It keeps the fans the perspective of he hasn't slowed down. I can go out there every time and pour it out. I don't know how to hold back. I know how to hold back on movements and stuff I know I can't do, like pushing off my left knee is really hard. I know personally that I've slowed down over the years. I try to be very innovative and creative with my style that it makes it seem that I haven't slowed down. Taking to social media, CM Punk wrote this message for fans. Grateful for all the fans who have carried me to my greatest moments. Thankful for the legends that paved the roads I travel. I wouldn't be who I am without all of you. Thank you. So goes the garden, so goes the business. Going over a couple of departures from AEW, which include Matt Jackson's wife Dana Massie, who oversaw merchandise in the company, and AEW VP of Live Events and Touring, Rafael Morphy. It was said by Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio that third and fourth major individuals behind the scenes to leave AEW, following Kevin Sullivan and QT Marshall. We had Rafael Morphy and also Dana Massie, who is the wife of Matt Jackson. She had been there literally since before day one. They were all day one people. Both of them are gone as of the end of the year. They tried to re-sign Dana and she opted not to re-sign. Where's Rafael going? Dave Meltzer then said he's going to work for the Barclays Center as an executive there. He's going to be booking acts, working with the NBA Nets who play in that building, book entertainment acts, sports acts. He lives in that area. It's a job where he doesn't have to travel. Good opportunity for him. With Dana, it's a funny thing. If you're in a position where you're a wrestler, you go with the flow, you'll work even if you're unfairly maligned. I think that with her, she was someone at one point expected to do this forever. I think with everything that happened over the last year with her husband and brother-in-law, vilified and never defended and never being allowed to defend themselves and the company never defending them, it made it really difficult. The Bucks re-signed. They didn't go to WWE basically because they got a great offer to stay, and it was the best thing for the family, and it was the best thing financially to stay. The Elite all agreed to the majority vote. That was one of the things they all agreed to, so they stayed. With her, I think it just got too tough. I'm sure there's other things too, but that was a lot of it. The fact that she felt they were never defended at a time when they probably should have been defended by the company. There was the situation where CM Punk went after her too, and she was never defended either. Brian Alvarez added, 4 of the founding members of the company all gone by 2024. Meltzer then said, because it's so many in a short period of time, I'm getting people going, oh my god, the company is sinking. Alvarez replied, the company is not sinking, but is absolutely changing. Meltzer then said, totally changing. You can watch the TVs. Alvarez said, it's never going to be that company again. Then Meltzer added, it's a different company, whether that's good or bad. One of the things that was an ironically out of touch knock on the company was that veterans who came in had never seen a dressing room like that. There was inexperience as far as management, with so many people who never worked in a management capacity in wrestling, so many new people. You're going to make mistakes based on that, but the harmony in the dressing room was incredible. People were calling it all friends wrestling, but what built the company was that exact fact. That wasn't going to last forever. When that harmony was gone, that's when you started having problems. Before, everyone had a common goal. Even if they didn't all agree on how to reach that goal, everyone had a different idea on how to do what's going to engage the most fans, and now you can combat being in a fight with WWE. How do you react to that? For a while, it was a very harmonious thing. Then it changed and it wasn't for the better. Their number one problem is that WWE got hot. When AEW first had their big success, Vince McMahon was running WWE and a lot of people wanted out. It was an alternative. A lot of fans weren't engaged by WWE. When Vince left, I told people this is when it's all going to change. Vince was a real negative in WWE. Paul Levesque is a lot more open-minded and modern when it comes to talent. When number one is hot, number two is a very difficult position to be in. A lot of it is a perception that has gotten worse and worse as attendance dwindled. The advances and the actual attendance at the shows is not great, but for number two, it's not bad either. Pay-per-view numbers have been very good almost the entire run, but they're facing a perception and momentum problem far more than a product problem. A lot of great matches on the shows, but they're weak on making the matches mean a lot and making people into big stars. Super talented guys, but if main events aren't main events, you don't draw. Staying on the topic of Dana Massie's exit from AEW, Nick Hausman said on his Rumor and Innuendo podcast, I also know that there were a lot of talent upset for a long time about the merchandising. There were a lot of shirts for some people, a lack of quality that were getting put out. They were really not happy with it. There was a Sting Snow Globe that went out. I think they had to cancel it from their orders that they didn't even want anyone to have it on their mantle. It was not a situation where a lot of people thrilled about the merchandising. As Dave Meltzer stated, she didn't have any experience as an executive in pro wrestling company running a merchandising department. As much as everyone wants to project this aura that everything was fine and she left on her own terms, again, maybe it was her call to go that way. Maybe they offered her a contract that was less than what she was getting. I don't know. Ringside News added that Nick Hausman stated on Rumor and Innuendo that the rumor was that Dana Massie was making 7 figures a year with AEW. She held a very high position in the company as their chief marketing and merchandising officer. Accusing those in WWE to have her conceal injuries, former NXT star Alexis Leet said on a recent YouTube video, "I've had some concussions before I knew something was not right. I go into work, I don't say anything. Then the next time I'm heading to medical, I'm going to tell them something is weird. I think I rung my bell as I'm walking and someone is like, 'Letty, what's up? How are you doing?' I'm doing really good, but I'm about to head to medical. I feel like something happened and I feel I rang my bell." He's like, "Oh, you rang your bell? Yeah, ringing your bell is still a concussion. It's still not the best." He told me, "Hey, that's kind of part of the job. You get injuries all the time, you deal with them, and you move on and get ready for the next thing." Oh, okay, don't go and tell them. Spend another night, think about it, but unless you're bad and black out, I wouldn't tell them about it. Oh, okay. Promoting the AEW Worlds End pay-per-view where he will defend his world title against Samoa Joe, MJF said this during an interview with Fox 5 New York.
Wrestler. There's been so many movie adaptations about pro wrestling, but to me, this one's the absolute best.
I love this. Go into a bit more about your background, because I feel like because of what you do, and you grew up here, you're a local guy, you played football here. Tell us a bit about your story and what makes you you.
So I broke the record in tackling at Plainview JFK High School.
Okay.
I also was an all-state tenor 2 in choir. So I'm a well-rounded boy.
I mean, can you give us a little preview of that?
I mean, I'm a pretty good singer.
Or would that ruin your persona?
It absolutely wouldn't ruin my persona. People know that, you know, I have the voice of an angel. But unfortunately, right now, I have to keep the tenor down because we got to focus on December 30th, World's End.
We might ruin the performance for you just because we have some old clips of
here
you
we go.
singing on
see
TV.
where this is going,
so, I mean, we're just going to do it for you since you didn't want to give us a preview. I think we have a little clip about that.
Here we go.
Let's watch this.
Please welcome 5-year-old cutie patootie, Max Friedman.
Well, I'm going to be a opera singer and a wrestler.
A wrestler?
Are you saying "You Are My Sunshine" on that? We didn't have that part. You sure you don't want to just give us a little preview?
Listen, I can't do that, but what I can say is, as you can see there, I called my shot at the ripe age of 5.
How did you know? How did you know at 5?
Because I was born great, okay? When I came out that womb, the doctor didn't slap my butt. I slapped the doctor's face. I was born to entertain. I was born to be a world champion, and I was born to defend this title in Nassau Coliseum, the Burberry Barn, on the 30th.
Okay, for people that want to buy tickets and come see you, show it out and show up, where can they go?
So they can, one more time, they can go to AEW Tix. That's AEWTIX.com. Get your tickets today. I'm sure you're still drunk from your Christmas party. Do an impulse buy. Do an impulse buy, for the love of God. My name is Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I'm better than you and you know it, and I look forward to seeing you at the Burberry Barn, Nassau Coliseum, this Saturday. Screw you, Samoa Joe. You suck.
The best. Oh, my God, the best to ever do it. There you go. We got to get to the weather.
Expressing his ambitions for the entertainment industry, MJF told comicbook.com, "I genuinely think in 5 years from now, I'm going to be a guy that people see regularly on their TV screen outside of the professional wrestling landscape. Trust me, I love wrestling too much to not still be involved in it. I will most likely still be full-time, but I want to be acting full-time as well by then. I would also like to put out an album by then. I would like to be a well-distinguished actor that is recognized as being a great actor that transitioned from wrestling like these greats that did it before me, like Dwayne, like Batista, like Cena." Set for her first pro wrestling appearance since her shocking release from WWE, former NXT Backstage correspondent Mackenzie Mitchell was announced for WrestleCon in Philadelphia in April, as she confirmed this on X. Mentioning contracts over in New Japan that are running out, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful said NJPW Strong Tag Team Champion El Phantasmo heavily hinted to us that his deal with the company is up at the end of January 31st. We've not confirmed this with New Japan Pro Wrestling sources, but the Gorillas of Destiny star was certainly pointing that direction. He noted to Sean Ross Sapp that he was headed into a contract period. With it looking as though a feud is brewing between CM Punk and Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion said this regarding his true feelings about Punk. Oof, I don't know, man. We have a long road to get to that point. It's been 10 years of him doing the opposite of him earning my respect. I had a lot of respect for this guy. I put him on a pedestal in a lot of ways, and for me, he was the epitome of don't ever meet your heroes because they'll always disappoint you. That's what it's been for me for the last 10 years, just a series of disappointments over and over and over. I've known the guy for 2 decades. It's been a wild 20 years for him to get to a point where he's earned my respect again. I don't want to say it's Mount Everest because I don't think that would be doing it justice, to be honest. It's going to be a long road if we ever get there. Asked if he would have wanted to have a custom WWE Championship belt during one of his title reigns, The Undertaker said on his 6 Feet Under podcast, "No, I'm a traditionalist. I'm old school. Whatever the world title is, that's what I wanted to represent. As cool as the custom belt is, it's one of the nicest looking belts I've seen. I would have wanted one of the traditional belts unless it was the spinner belt, which was awful. If I had my choice, the spinner belt or custom belt, I would have gone with the custom belt. I always liked the traditional championships. Back then, it was more about being the champion than marketing. I'm not opposed to making money. I just think there are certain traditions and things that should be untouched. The championship should be the championship." On that same podcast, The Undertaker said this regarding the reaction from those backstage in WWE to his WrestleMania winning streak coming to an end at the hands of Brock Lesnar. Among fans, even amongst the talent, because most of the guys they were pissed. They were like, man, the streak shouldn't have been broke. That's the business. I don't have any decision in that, but a lot of the boys that were part of making that streak something, making it mean what it meant, they were like, damn man, why are you taking away? Why are you taking away such a vital part of WrestleMania? It was like, this is as important as a title match. On the 3-year anniversary of her husband Brodie Lee's passing, Amanda Huber wrote on X, 3 years. I don't know whether I should cry or I should smile through my tears, but if you were here, we would sail that boat into the red horizon. Those years lost, I'll tell you about them. Going over his high-profile dive that ended in a botch from WWE, former star for the company, Top Dollar, told Muscle Man Malcolm, "So I started losing feeling in my toes and I was like, man, you know, doc, is it something out of alignment?" He was like, "What you're describing kind of sounds like diabetic neuropathy." And he was like, "Have you had your blood sugar checked?" I was like, "Nah." He was like, "You should probably go and get your blood sugar checked." But me being a big dumb idiot, I still waited a couple of weeks before I went to the doctor and got my blood sugar checked. When I got my blood sugar checked, it was 626, but I'm like at the point where I could pass out in a diabetic coma at any time, like I'm losing full sensation in my feet. Revealing the chances of him teaming up with Chris Jericho in AEW to take on the tag team champions, former WWE star Enzo Amore told KNS WrestleFest, "Would I? That is definitely something that is not in the cards right now because I am a free agent. I don't know what the deal is over there. I don't know who is doing what, who has the pencil. I don't know who is wrestling who. I just know that I'm damn proud of Big Bill holding the tag team titles. The last thing I would ever want to do is break his leg and take it away from him. I love that guy. I'm pulling for him. I'm rooting for him. I'm not trying to beat him up. Everyone knows I would beat him up. I would beat the hell out of him. Seriously, Big Bill, how unbelievable is that story? What he overcame, where he's at right now, nobody is happier than I am to see the success of that man." Noting how he wanted to be a part of Sting's upcoming retirement match in AEW, Goldberg told Steve and Captain Evil, "Sting is the reason why I broke into the business. Sting set a great example. He's about to retire. I tried to be a part of his retirement match. I would not have chosen to get into the world of professional wrestling if it wasn't for Sting. He was a normal dude who went out and did abnormal things. Wrestling is like being in the circus. It truly is. I never looked at it with much respect, but after I watched him from afar, far, I realized that I had the ability to go do it. He was not only a performer, he had self-respect and he commanded respect. He's one of the best human beings on the planet, and he set an example for me, and I just tried to grab it and run with it and make him proud. I had the best time of my life in the ring with Sting. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.